One thing you have to understand about this journey is that at some point in time, you're going to get rejected. And with this particular way, I'm teaching you to get a high paying job. You're going to get rejected numerous times. So you have to have a way of dealing with rejection. Because as much as you like to think of yourself as a tough guy or whatever, or maybe you're not a tough guy at all, when we get rejected as human beings, it makes us feel bad. So I've outlined a mental model to represent the types of moods that you'll be going through as you apply for jobs. So the model has a range from 1 to 7, where 1 represents a depressed state and 7 represents a delusional state. Having a closer look at the 7th state, or the delusional state, this can be characterized by that newfound feeling of starting something. Another way of looking at the state is by thinking of a time when you had or your friend had a New Year's resolution, where by the beginning of the year you start off with so much optimism with respect to what it is that you want to achieve, whether it be going to the gym, making more money. That in and of itself speaks to the delusional state. The issue with this hyper optimism is that it's not sustainable because it's not aligned with reality. Because if you stay in the state, you're going to burn yourself out. The journey is way more challenging than what the delusional state will have you to believe. Which brings me to state 6, which I call the ideal state. With state 6, you still have a great deal of enthusiasm. The difference being is that you're not delusional. You're not telling yourself that you're going to get this dream job in 3 days, right? You have an optimism to keep applying. When you do interviews, you do them politely, kindly, with passion, in such a way that you sell yourself very well, right? And you have that hunger to keep looking for opportunity. You are excited about the future. You believe and you're confident in your abilities. And when you present yourself during these interviews, you do a very good job. That's why I like this sixth state. You're not delusional, but you're very confident and optimistic. With state 5, although you're still polite and you have a smile on your face when you do these interviews, you no longer have that optimism. You've been broken down a little bit, which causes you to second guess yourself, which could be due to the number of times you've been rejected, or the jobs that you're applying to not responding to your emails. Whatever the case is, it's breaking you down. With stage 4, things are taking a turn for the worst. You have been broken down and you've reached a point of indifference. And although at stage 4, you haven't completely given up, but your mannerisms, the way you talk to these interviewers and how you conduct yourself, it'll tell that you don't have a particular keen interest in what you're doing. You seem more of a zombie, right? And that has a negative impact on your interviews. Because remember, at the end of the day, when you go into an interview or when you apply and you don't give 110%, there's somebody else giving 110%. It's a competition. So at this point, your mood is becoming a hindrance to your success. With stages 3 to 2 comes a point of desperation whereby now you're so broken down by this whole process, it's taken way longer than you expect, that it has caused you to be willing to accept any type of lowball offer that comes your way. So, for example, should this company now have a budget of 100,000 and you may even know that they have a budget of 100,000, but the offer that they're giving is 80,000, you're not going to push for that extra 20,000. You have completely just accepted that this is an opportunity that has come your way, and you're not going to be about morals and principles and self-respect, that you will accept that lowball offer. The last state is desperation. With desperation comes with it a giving up, which to me is a phenomena I found very difficult to comprehend. Is that there are people out there in the world who find it too difficult to get a job, let alone a high paying job, just any job, and they give up. Under no circumstance should you let your mind slip into the state. There definitely are opportunities, even if you live in a country whereby opportunities are very limited. Within that limited pool of opportunities, there's still opportunity. So never give up. You have to keep fighting and persevering under any and all circumstances. And now you can clearly see why stage 6 is such a good state of mind to be in. But simply explaining that state to you doesn't help you maintain it. So the rest of the video is going to be dedicated to helping you maintain that level of enthusiasm and consistency. So one thing that's going to help you remain in an ideal psychological state is by understanding that you don't need every single employer to give you an offer. You only need one to believe in you. And that's a massive psychological tool that will help you. Another major psychological tool that you need to understand is that rejection is not personal, especially in the context of applying for a job. It simply means that you're not what they're looking for. Or even if you are what they're looking for, another candidate who just has a slightly bit more experience than you, who sold themselves a slightly bit better than you, got the job instead. It's not personal. They're making an objective decision. Don't think that rejection of a job is equivalent to you as a human being being worthless. The fact is, if you prepare for the interview a little bit better and you had a bit more experience, you'd probably get that job. So whenever you get rejected, it should cause you to be more motivated to get more experience and to prepare better for the interview. They're essentially guiding you in the right directions. They're saying this is what's lacking and this is what you need to improve upon. The solution is upskilling yourself, bettering your ability to convey your skills, bettering your ability to deliver upon what it is that they desire. And as you do this, your self confidence will improve because during the interviews, their questions are going to become easier and easier and easier because you've upped your skill to a point whereby the questions that they ask will be trivial and you can answer them confidently. And as you upskill yourself, it's very, very, very important for you to keep track of your progress because you may still get rejected, but not realize that you're improving and you're getting closer and closer to the point whereby you will get that high paying job, right? So keep track of your progress, keep track of everything you're learning, all the skills that you're building, everything that you can now do that you weren't able to do before you upskill. Lastly, another psychological tool or thought that you need to hold in your head is the concept of an abundance, right? You need to have an abundance of opportunities in your head because that stops desperation. When you have it in your head that there's another opportunity waiting for you tomorrow, you're not going to settle for less. You're not going to accept lowball offers. You're going to push back when they try to pay you less than what you're actually worth.